Hi and welcome to the Sewing Studio. I'm Anna and this video is all about the Brother Innov-is 15 sewing machine. I'm going to show you all its features and functions, talk about what comes in the box with the machine, show you how to thread it and its sewing capabilities, and then talk a bit about warranty and support. So if there's a particular section that you're interested in, feel free to head straight to there. So the Brother Innov-is 15 is a standard size machine, so you've got 6 inches of space to the right of the needle. Now it's a very good halfway house between a mechanical machine and a computerised machine. So it's very easy to select your stitches with this dial on the front here. And there's 16 different stitches to choose from and a few one-step buttonhole styles included in there. These are displayed on the LCD screen here, but also in the window there. You can change the length and width of the stitch, and the maximum stitch width is 7mm and the maximum length is 5mm. Now because it's computerised, it does come with a foot pedal, but it also has a start-stop button down here. And that means it also has a speed controlled slider, so you can control your speed and really have your hands on the fabric to do nice, precise work. You've also got your reverse button here and a needle up, needle down. The presser foot has an extra high lift, so you can get any thicker or bulky items under there. And the feed dogs are a 7-point system, so it really does help to hold on to the fabric so you've got full control while it's being sewn. Those can be dropped as well for any kind of free motion work. There's a built-in needle threader to help you thread the eye of the needle, and the bobbin very simply drops in from the top. And then it's got Brother's quick set feature, so you can lay the bobbin thread in there and there's no need to draw it up, you can just keep sewing. If we pop off this, you've then got your free arm for sewing any hems, cuffs and things. And then in the accessory tray here, there is room for all the presser feet and accessories that come with the machine. Now those are the standard foot that you'll find already on the machine when it arrives, a zipper or piping foot, blind stitch, overcasting, one for sewing on buttons, and your one-step buttonhole foot, as well as a range of accessories. And you also have an operation manual, foot control, power lead, and a dust cover to help keep it clean. Next, I'm going to show you how to thread the machine. We'll do some sewing and I'll demonstrate its capabilities. So to thread the needle, you start by putting the spool on the spool pin here, and then pop your cap on the end just so that it doesn't fly off when you're sewing. And still keep that loose, don't clamp it because this still needs to turn. And then your thread path is numbered for you. So you go in there number 1, down in behind there number 2, down and around number 3. Now I can see currently that there's no take-up lever here for me to thread. So I'm going to use the needle up, needle down button to put the needle down and then back up again. And now the take-up lever is there. So I can go right to left, back to front, and thread pops in the front there. And then number 5 and number 6 is the last one, whoops, at the top of the needle there. So because we've already sent the needle down and back up again, we know it's in the right position for the needle threader. So all you need to do is draw the needle threader down. Try and do it so you can see what I'm doing. Here, you want to lay the thread, let's do it up here, lay the thread in under there, in under that piece, and I'm just holding it taut but loose-ish. And then as I let go of my thumb, I'm going to let go of the thread, and you can see that's drawn the loop in behind for me to just pull the thread through. So that's that done. And then the bobbin, you just want to push that to the right and the cover pops up, and you just drop it in with the tail of the thread to the left. That's very important. If it's the other way around, your stitches will look off and you might even get a tangle in there. Again, there's an arrow and an arrow here that shows you which way you need to go. So I usually just pop my finger on there to give it a bit of tension, and you're coming under this plastic piece, in, around, and there's a little cutter there that you can just cut that off. And as I say, you don't need to draw up the bobbin thread. You can just start sewing, but you can draw it up if you prefer to. That's no problem at all. So all your different stitch options are printed on the front of the machine here, from number 1 around to number 16. And to select those, you just simply turn the dial. So you can see in this window here, you're currently on stitch number 1. So if you want to go to number 2, you just turn your dial to number 2. 3, 4, 5, you get the picture. And to go back, you just turn it the other way. Pretty simple. Now, as you're going, because it's part computerized, it's setting a default stitch length and stitch width for you. So if there's don't need to alter them, you can just get sewing and away you go. If you did need to change them, you've got your length here and your width here. So you're just very simply going up or down. When it's in a circle, that's back to the default, is what that's telling you. So let's go round to stitch number 2, which is a standard straight stitch in the center position. And I've got 2 pieces of cotton here. Now I'm not using the foot pedal, I'm going to show you the start stop button, which is this one here. And at the moment I'm on the slowest speed. To reverse, you just keep your finger on the button as far back as you want to go, and then come forward again. So as you can see, the slow speed is quite manageable, up to midway. And then up to full speed at the end there. Just going to secure that. Take the needle out, and there's a little cutter on the side here. You can just nick the threads off, and that's your standard straight stitch. And on the underside, it's a very neat stitch. So if we were to move to a zigzag now, which is stitch number 4, again, it's defaulted to a standard, I guess somebody decides what size that is, but a standard stitch length and a stitch width. But then you can achieve different kind of stitches with the zigzag by altering the width and the length. So for instance, if you wanted to create a satin type stitch, for a plique or something like that, you might want to go slightly wider, but then take it down in the length. Or you might have something that's quite loose weaved that you want to, like a piece of knitwear or something, that you want a wider stitch and a longer stitch. So you can just scroll up. There you go, and you can see that's the standard zigzag. And then this is the one that's closer together. You could go closer than that again if you wanted to. And then the wider stitch. So although there's 16 stitch options, you can get different things by adjusting the width and the length. So let's take a look at a one-step buttonhole. So I've got the one-step buttonhole foot here, and what you want to do is pull the back piece out, pop your button in, and then just clamp it tight. And then that sets the distance here for the size of your button plus a couple of millimeters so that the button nice and easily gets in and out of the hole. Now these feet are a snap-on, snap-off, so you just push that lever and it, whoops, drops down. And then you've just got the bar on the front here that you want to line up with the foot nearly and snap it on. The next thing you want to do is get this needle thread underneath the foot. And the easiest way to do that is pop a piece of fabric in, drop your needle down, back up again, and then pull the piece of fabric through. And then your threads are underneath. So the buttonhole stitches are here. I'm going to use this same piece of cotton, so I'm just going to use the standard buttonhole, which is number 14. There we are. And I also need to bring the buttonhole sensor down, which is just behind the needle threader here. And that sits just behind that piece of plastic. And then what happens as it's sewing, it hits that sensor and it knows when to stop, do the bar tacks at the back, and then it will come forward again. And again, it then knows where to stop. I'll show you what I mean. There's a little viewing window here, so if you wanted to put a mark on your material of where you're going to sew the buttonhole, you can then view it and make sure it's in the right place. So pop the presser foot down, put the needle in, and away you go. Lovely. Bring the needle up, take the work out, cut them off, and there's your nice neat buttonhole on the top and underneath. So let's move on to a couple of different types of fabric. So I'll take the buttonhole foot off. And the first that I've got is some jersey. So I'm going to pop a jersey needle in. So I'm just going to unthread this needle, undo the screw, take that out. And these are just universal needles with the flat back. So you just pop that in, do up the screw. I like to do a last little turn with the screwdriver, just to be sure, not too much. And then again, come down with the needle threader in, whoops, I let go too soon then. There it goes. And there's your loop. Lovely. So I'm just going to pop the foot back on. Put my threads underneath. Cut off the excess. Lovely. Right, so I've got some jersey fabric here from an old t-shirt that I've cut up. So let's try the lightning stitch on this because, where are we? Number 3, hang on. I can't talk and turn at the same time, that's crazy. So I'm going down the rib the way I'm going to sew it for you. So in theory, the lightning stitch should work, okay? But let's try it. And that's done a lovely job. It's sitting nice and flat. You can stretch the fabric along the seam, but also this way. It's nice and tight, nice and stretchy, and that's not going anywhere. On the thicker side of fabrics now, I've got some denim, so I'm going to pop, whoops, take that out, a jeans needle in. I've got some denim here. This is a fairly thin denim. It's one that we sell in the shop. So I'm going to go through two layers. So I'm going to go back to my standard straight stitch. I'll go in the centre position because I like to sew in the centre. Because it's thicker than the cotton we were using, I'm just going to increase the stitch length just by 0.5 millimetre. And you can see that's a nice neat stitch, nothing skipped or anything, nor on the bottom. and the seam is robust. So let's double that over and go for 4 layers. I'm not going to adjust anything on the machine at this stage. I am just going to cut those loose threads off though so they don't get tangled in. And that's 4 layers, no problem at all. That's the underneath. And again, the seam is nice and robust. So I'm going to fold it over once more. And this time I'm going to increase the stitch length just slightly again, so by half. And it's done a really lovely job on that as well. Again, nothing skipped. That's the underneath. And the seam is still nice and robust. This machine comes with a 3-year warranty, and in the box you'll find this warranty card that explains it all to you, including what's covered and what's not covered. And don't forget, we're here at the Sewing Studio as well for any help or advice that you might need with your new machine. Now, I hope during this video I've been able to demonstrate this machine to you in terms of what it's capable of and how easy it is to operate, to help you decide whether it's the right machine for you. If so, head on over to our website and grab yours now. Delivery is fast and it's free. Thanks very much for watching.